Zootopia 2 is sure to be one of the biggest movies of the year, but how it gets made is just such a masterclass in finding these things out. Adam Green, a Fort Wayne native from right here in Indiana. I mean, talk us from the beginning. How did you get into animation?
Oh my gosh. I actually did animation in high school. There was a high school in Fort Wayne, Elmhurst High School. It's now no longer existing, but there was a teacher there who had some old computers, new at the time, old now. This is in the 90s, so 96 or 7, and had these old 3D6 computers with an old Autodesk Animator software on it. And I started animating in his class. And I remember he encouraged me to attend the University of St. Francis, where they have an animation program there in Fort Wayne. And from there, I went to video games, and then from there, I got into feature film.
Did you move out to LA after that? What was the process like after college to try to pursue this career?
So actually, it's a funny story. When I graduated college, there was still some more I needed to do because the animation industry is very competitive. And so I started submitting to online animation competitions, and I won one of them. And someone who I beat actually reached out to me. He worked at a game studio, and he was like, "Hey, do you want a job?" And I was like, "Sure." And so I went out to San Francisco, worked for Activision, a studio called Shaba Games, and I worked on a Shrek game there. And then from there, I went to LucasArts, worked on a Star Wars game, and then from there I went to Blue Sky Studios in New York to work on Horton Hears a Who. And from there I went to LA, and I've been at Disney ever since.
What was your first Disney? Like, how did you get introduced to Disney? Because I have heard when you're with Disney, you don't leave Disney. I mean, Disney is obviously the pinnacle of animation.
The first movie I worked on was Bolt, but I would say my first introduction to Disney. Gosh, I gotta say the movie. There's several movies that really got me in the '90s. I mean, that was kind of like the second renaissance of Disney, which would have been Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King. I would say those are the ones that like solidified me as like, oh my gosh, I gotta work in this industry. And it wasn't until I would say when CG animation came along, it was Monsters Inc. was the one that like really got me into 3D animation.
What work did you do on Bolt to get your foot in the door?
So before I went to Disney, I worked on Horton Hears a Who, and that really is what got me in the door to work on Bolt. Was just getting that first bit of experience, like doing some animation, getting that first film credit, and that was sort of like what got me into to Disney. Bolt, I worked on a couple different sequences, but mostly character Bolt and Mittens, which was really fun.
Well, it has to be such a huge team. Do you have any idea how many people are involved in these animated movies, bringing them to life?
Yeah, so for Zootopia 2, we had 700 people who worked on the film. In the animation department, there's between 120 and 140, I would say, at its peak. So yeah, so as a supervisor, you have to supervise a team. And so my teams would usually be between 30 and 40 people. We had about 5 supervisors. And so, it would revolve. Sometimes you would work with the same group, sometimes you work with a different group. But yeah, you get to know the whole team, and everyone really bonds and has a great time.
And that's the movie we're here to talk about, Zootopia 2. I mean, animation supervisor, what did your role do for this film? What were you leading? What kind of team? Tell us about that.
Yeah, sure. So as a supervisor, you have two main jobs. One is you supervise a character, and in my case, I supervise Gary the Snake, Gary Dust Snake, sorry, and then also Jesus, who those of you who've seen the movie know who Jesus is. And then the second thing to do is you supervise sequences. So usually a sequence that like your character is a primary character in is a sequence that you will supervise. And so you will basically be like a mini director for that sequence, and then present that to the director so that they can like give notes and give feedback and things like that. So you guide the animation sort of throughout that sequence to sort of get the performance right, get the storytelling right, and just get the animation right.
I'm going to tell you, I took my brother to see this with his 2 kids. He and I laughed more than his 2 kids because it's such a smart movie. It has all these little things. If you blink, you'll miss it. Like all these different, like YouTube spelled EWE tube. And there's so many great references that you'll see. I mean, what was all that process like? I mean, it has to take so many people to find these things and tie it back in with the animals.
Oh, I tell you what, people finding puns for this movie, I think, is the most favorite thing that anyone does. It is so full of puns, it's ridiculous. And that's just some of them. You sit in meetings and people are coming up with puns left and right all the time. Those get left behind. The best ones get win the movie. But yeah, it's a very collaborative process. People probably don't know this, but the thing at the end of the movie that says this movie was made by everyone at Walt Disney Animation Studios is so true. It's a very collaborative process. Everyone's voice matters. Everyone sits in the room, talks these things out, have a great time. The best joke wins. It's just a group of people having fun making a movie together.
This voice cast could not be bigger, obviously led by Jennifer Goodwin, Jason Bateman, but Ke Huy Quan, Oscar winner coming in now, who you said you worked close with. What was that process like of you working with him to bring Gary DeSnake to the screen?
It was incredible. So the funny story with that is that before we cast him, Jared, one of the directors, Jared and Byron were the two directors. Jared was showing us a clip from Stephen Colbert show, and he was like, "This guy, I love this energy. I really want to see this energy in Gary DeSnake." And so I was like, "Do you want me to take that clip and just animate it?" And he was like, "Yes, could you?" And so I went away for a couple weeks, took an early version of Gary and animated that, and it just blended so well naturally. His voice with the look and the personality we were going for with Gary, who is funny and energetic, but also has a vulnerable core who just wants to be loved. Those things just really combined in a way that I don't think anybody really expected to happen. And so I showed the clip, and it just like took off immediately. It was like, oh yeah, this is Gary. And so I think they took that and showed it to Key at one of his auditions and was just like, let's do this. And so working with him was just such a joy. He's such a pleasure. He brings so much to the character, and just the energy he brings to the sound booth was just awesome.
Love to hear that because this movie has so much heart, and a lot of that is with his character. You think, oh, it's a snake, like the people of Zootopia think, oh, they've been gone forever, they're the bad character, but he is such a special character. What do you hope audiences take away from watching Zootopia 2 with the whole family?
Oh, the message of this movie is so nice and wonderful. And yes, I agree. The thing that I love about Gary is that he, again, is just this vulnerable character who wants to clear his name, wants to clear his family's name. He wants his family to be able to come home, to his ancestral home. And so I think when audiences watch this, I hope they just feel that, they resonate with that, and they just can empathize with him.
This movie is going to be as big as it gets at the box office. I mean, we have this, we have Wicked for Good. It's so great to see people going back to the theater post pandemic, but even coming back right now. I mean, what is that reaction like to work on such an important movie to help keep movie theaters alive?
It is amazing. Like, I can't even begin to tell you, I've seen some of the projections and things, and it makes me so excited. But really, it's because I want people to see this film. I didn't get a chance to work on the first Zootopia. I actually was a supervisor on Moana at the time, so I switched and did not work on the first Zootopia. So, and I didn't work on Moana 2 because I was busy on Zootopia 2. So it's kind of this weird, like, polar opposite for me. So for me, it's really exciting to get to work on this film and then have audiences get to see it. I really want people to see it because I think it's really special.
What is it like for you to come back home to Fort Wayne? Like, is it, I'm sure everyone is so happy, so proud of the work you've done to see all of your great animation come to the big screen.
It's really cool, and it's so fun to know that something that I mean, animation is a very private art form, right? We sit at our desks 2 years ago working on these characters, giggling to ourselves, going, "Gosh, I hope people like this." You know what I mean? And then one day it becomes this thing where it's out in the world and everyone knows your characters' names, everyone knows the movie, everyone knows everything you've been doing for the last 2 years. And so it's this really neat sort of moment to go, guess what I've been working on? And so to get that response back where people are like, I love it, is just so rewarding.
So happy for your success. I love Zootopia 2. I know audiences will this holiday season as well. See it on the big screen. Adam, thank you so much for your time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for talking with me today.